Hey, so welcome back to the channel. I thought it was time. I don't think I'm gonna make any further changes to my gear and wanted to talk specifically about the big three items. It's a very common video you'll see from through hikers talking about gear. And so I'm not gonna belabor it and make it longer than it should be. I'm gonna do a complete gear video probably in a week or so. I would imagine 95% of what I have is gonna fly. And I'll make some last minute changes, but let's talk about the big three. So right out of the gates, we're gonna talk about the backpack. Now, it's still got a bunch of stuff in it from my last hike in there. I've got bottles on the side. A lot of folks choose the smart water bottles, and that's cool because they get attachments that go on the front here, and they will attach them on the shoulder straps. I don't like the way they attach them there, and I don't like the way they kind of sit in my face when I hike. And so I do the smaller, like Gatorade bottles. They're a little thicker. They're a little more sturdy, and they're easier to pour stuff in the top. I don't spill anything. So if I'm gonna mix something like a powder or whatever, I go in here. But the pack is by Hyperlite. It's the WINDRIDGE. I always say Windrunner 3400. I love this pack, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how I've used it wrong and how I've used it right, because you can definitely use an ultralight pack wrong. And by that, I meant on my first hike, I took a 35-pound pack out in an ultralight pack. Let me tell you how uncomfortable that was. And it wasn't just for an overnight. I went 100 miles with this pack at 30-something plus pounds. I packed my fears. It was my first long-term lash, I guess, or long section, or however you want to say it. And so I learned on that one. Now, the next time I went out, it was more like 28 pounds. It was still a little bit heavy, and I've worked that down to my summertime pack weight is about 14 and a half pounds with no water and no food in there. Weighted down, it was about 22. That's like a really sweet spot for this pack. If you can get in the 20, lower than 20, but no higher than 25 in this pack, then you'll notice that, this pack is not super adjustable. There's no load lifters in here. You have two shoulder straps that are adjustable. You have, I've got the hip pockets in it, but they're not super padded. So this pack is not built to carry a ton of weight, and you have to use it as it's intended to get the full benefit from it, right? Now, it is a top loader, which I love, and it fits a ton of stuff. And I'm gonna throw up some videos on the side that will show you what it looks like fully packed out, and then what it looks like as I kind of drop the weight in it. But this will be the pack that I take. Now there's a reason that I don't do an insert. You can see I don't have like the little Nylaflume bag in there or like a compactor bag or anything else, right? I go as is. It's water resistant. It's not waterproof. And so inside of the pack, there are certain things that I do, and I don't know if you can see them on here, but well, the next item I'm going to show you is actually in one of the pods that Hyperlite gives. So the WINDRIDGE 3400 by Hyperlite Mountain Gear is going to be the pack that I go with. Now, the next item is packed away in this pod, which I love my pods. I'm a type A hiker, meaning like I just can't jam everything in a bag and be excited about it. I need to ensure things. So this is an extra layer of water resistance inside of the pack, and it's got the zipper on there. But this second item is actually you can see the color and you'll know exactly what it is. This is the big Agnes Tiger Wall UL3 as the tent. And again, I'll throw a picture up on the side of it set up so you know what it looks like. It's under 3 pounds for a 2-person tent. It comes with its own poles on there, and that's what kind of adds the weight. But we like that versus the hiking sticks. I think it's easier to put up. I think it's more wind resistance because it's a dome and it doesn't have any flat sides on it. And again, the picture we'll throw up on the side. We do carry the footprint for it too, for 2 reasons. A, that little bit of space on the ground is good to protect the tent and add a little bit of an R value on there. I mean, a little bit, right? And then it also helps keep any objects from deflating your sleeping pads at night, right? So the worst thing you want to do is wake up at 2 a.m. and be laying flat on the ground, which I've not done before. It is not fun on there. So I am too large of a person to be sitting on the floor forever. So you're going to see me shuffling around on here. Last item on the big three is the Enlightened equipment quilt. You can't go out without that. Now, I chose to get the Revelation, and you can see I chose the blue with the black insert for a couple reasons. I like this darker color because it hides dirt, and especially on the inside to have, and I went with a charcoal gray, not a black, but I like that because just everything when you backpack gets dirty, you can't avoid it. You know, you'll see a ton of top 3 gear videos, and when folks hold up their Hyperlite bag, they're gonna be like shiny white, and if you look close, like this thing has just got a ton of dirt on it. It'll be gray by the time we finish the 18th. That's just the way it is. So the Hyperlite, the Enlightened equipment quilt. Now, it comes in all different temperatures. And man, I'm going to get flamed in the comments for what I'm going to say next. But I just got to share this. I'm taking a 30-degree quilt on the AT, and we're leaving February 18th, so we'll be on trail February 20th. Now let me explain why. Before you go to the comments and tell me I'm an idiot, because in most cases I would agree, like going out there. My wife is a cold sleeper. Now, there are some people who sleep warm, but I sleep hot. And by hot, I meant the last time I went in this quilt, it was 35. We stayed the night. I was sweating and had to come out from underneath this quilt. Now, I've got a big Agnes Repeat air mattress, that sleeping pad. And then under that, I have a Nemo switchback underneath there, and we have a tarp under the tent, right? We use the tarp, again, it's to keep it from puncturing, and it's just a super lightweight. We use it to sit on and eat lunch, to spread gear out, because on the AT, there's not a ton of places to find that are like a flat rock to sit on. You're just kind of sitting in the woods on the side of the trail a lot of times, right? But I tie the box. So this has a foot box in there, and I sleep with a base layer when it gets cold at night. The backup is we'll have those bottles that I had, in this type of bottle that I keep around. I can heat up some water and throw in there. It's not a Nalgene, and I don't want to put boiling water in it, but I can heat warm water up, throw that in there, throw that in my bag to keep warm. But I am a hot sleeper. So that's my big 3 for the Appalachian Trail. I've got the Hyperlite Wind Rider 3400. I've got the Big Agnes Tiger Wall 3, UL3, and then the Enlightened Equipment Enigma Quilt. 30 degrees. So enjoyed hiking. Can't wait to see everybody else's top 3, and we'll see you on trail.